Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to the homestead. So today we are finally going to do an August garden tour for you. My garden is definitely dying out, but I still am harvesting quite a few things down in the garden. So let's head down there and I will show you what I do have growing currently in my big garden. All right, friends, so we are currently in the garden. Look at my tomatoes. So I had told you that the big rain that we had completely flooded out my tomatoes and they started to rot. So I went through and I took quite a few of my tomatoes out that were completely dead. There was no chance of them coming back. So I went ahead and took those out. I left the ones that I saw were still having flowers and some fruit on them. I let those ones stay until they don't produce anymore, and then I'll go ahead and take those out as well. So let me show you a few of those tomatoes that I went ahead and kept. Alright, so here I have a few of my tomatoes, and these are the Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. They still have quite a bit of foliage that is nice and green. It's healthy. I have some fruit still on here. So I went ahead and left this one and this one next to it as well. It's still producing some nice sized cherry tomatoes, so I kept these. Alright, so these ones I went ahead and kept. These are the Chef Choice tomatoes, and I was able to pick quite a few big ones off of here just a couple days ago. You can see there's still little ones that are coming on. There's a new one that's down in there that is producing. So I went ahead and left this one because it's still giving me some good sized tomatoes that I can go ahead and turn into tomato sauce. I have a big bag, 10 big bags of tomatoes that I will turn into tomato sauce. Down this row, you can see there's a few more of the cherry tomatoes that I went ahead and left. This one I'm gonna take out. It's not doing good. There's nothing else. Same as this one right here. This one is completely dead. But then there's this one that still has some tomatoes growing on it. So I'm gonna let that one stay. And then here I've got another tomato. So I'm just getting what I can out of my garden. Next item that I still have producing here in the garden are my zucchinis and squash. A few of the plants have definitely died. The other ones that I had planted later are just now starting to produce. So I am now getting some more zucchini and squash from these plants. So let me show you how they are looking. Here I have a zucchini plant, which has a nice little zucchini starting on it. This is one of my newer ones that I just planted, and it has really taken off. Here is an older squash plant, and it is still producing, but you can tell this is an older one because it starts here, but then it travels more down here. And down here I have some baby squashes starting as well. So this plant is still doing pretty good. This other one next to it is a zucchini plant, and there is a lot of disease and fungus in this plant. So this one is on its way out. It is still having some flowers, but we will see how the fruit looks if it produces any fruit for me. Here is another zucchini plant that I planted, but this one is not doing so well. It's staying really small, so I'll be watching this one. And then here are a couple that have completely died back that I will be taking out and giving to the pigs. This is a squash plant that is still producing, so this one I will let stay. This one is dying. That will be coming out. And this one is definitely trying to hang on, so I'm gonna let this one go and see what happens. All right, so those are all of my squash and zucchini plants, and they are doing fairly well. Now the things that are doing very well are my peppers. I have got my banana peppers, hot and sweet, cayenne peppers, jalapenos, bell peppers, the little sweet lunchbox bell peppers, all are doing fabulous. I'm getting a ton of harvest off of all of these different pepper plants that I have here. Let me show you a few of them. This is a beautiful jalapeno. In between the jalapenos, I have some bell peppers, and this bell pepper is got lots of flowers and lots of fruit. Here I have a banana pepper, some more jalapenos. Only one of my Anaheim chili peppers actually took, and I've got 3 beautiful Anaheim chili peppers starting, and then I've got some flowers for some more. So I still have another probably month and a half before my first frost. So I should be able to harvest quite a few of these Anaheim chilies off of this pepper plant. I also have my cayenne peppers that have tons and tons of cayennes on them. I'm just waiting for them to turn red. Once these turn red, then I can go ahead and harvest them. All these peppers are doing beautifully. And this habanero pepper definitely produced a lot, but I am noticing a lot of damage to the leaves. So I am sure something is in here eating them, but they did really well and produced a ton of little peppers for me. These 2 rows are all bell peppers, and there are quite a few bell peppers on these plants. All right, friends, so next are my Brussels sprouts. I have been doing a lot of research on the Brussels sprouts, and I am about ready to harvest them once I see that they are big enough. They are definitely growing from the bottom up, so the bottom ones are going to be much bigger than your top ones are going to be. I'm watching the foliage to make sure it's not dying back, and just keeping an eye on these Brussels sprouts. So let me show you how good they are looking. I am definitely excited for these Brussels sprouts. I've never grown them before. This was the first time, so I am excited to see how they taste fresh from the garden, because everything I've tasted that has been from the garden has been super good, sweet, and just has a different flavor than when you buy it at a store or when you buy it frozen at the store and take it home and cook it. I'm really excited for these Brussels sprouts. Next, we're gonna go walking through our okra patch. I have 3 rows of okra and they are all doing so well. I have harvested so much okra off of these 3 rows, and I have been taking them to the farmer's market and they absolutely love them at the farmer's market. So let me show you how well our okra is doing, how tall they have gotten, and these beautiful flowers that just continue to grow on these plants. All right, friends, so here are all my okras, and let's take a look. They are producing so nice, and they are getting nice and tall. So this is a perfect size okra to go ahead and harvest. This is going to be nice and tender. Perfect time to harvest your okras. This is a little too small, and I am almost 100% sure we will find one that is too big, because they blend into the stalks and you will miss them. Look at this flower. These are the okra flowers. Stunning. That purple on the middle is absolutely beautiful. All right, friends, and to give you an idea how tall these okras are, I am 5'8", and as you can see, these okra bushes are taller than me. So the ones on the front closest to this side are definitely a lot taller than the other ones on the other side. This side is definitely getting a lot more sun, so they are definitely doing a lot better. The ones over here are shaded quite often by the bigger ones, so they're not getting as tall, but they're still producing just as much okra as the ones that are over here. And it's interesting how the okra works. So as it continues to grow, you picked from the bottom, and then it doesn't grow anymore from the bottom. So you will not find any more okra on the bottom of your okra plant. They continue to grow here in the front. As they grow taller, they continue to grow more okra as they grow up. So the bottom, you won't find any more okra. It's just gonna be on the top. Once you harvest from the bottom, it's done. Let me show you what that looks like. So as long as this okra continues to grow and continues to be harvested correctly, it's going to continue to produce tons of okra for me. And these plants are doing phenomenal. So I'm just going to let them go and continue to do their thing as they continue to grow, and I continue to get as much okra as I can off of them. So the next thing in my garden that I have yet to pull out are my green beans. They failed, horribly failed green beans. I believe they're definitely deficient. In this area, I did not have enough nutrients for the green beans themselves. So I'm just letting them all go, and then I will go ahead and collect those seeds and try them again next year. But I was not able to collect any of the green beans off of here. They just did not do well at all. And I also got a lot of tips from the locals that Kentucky Wonder does better here. So I am going to look into getting that variety for next year and see how it does in my area. But another thing that did really well in the garden is my pumpkins and all of the different squashes that I planted in this area. The weeds definitely took over here and there was no stopping them. They're insane, but my pumpkins are doing good. I've walked through here and I've seen quite a few really nice sized pumpkins, as well as some really good squash. It's just a jungle. So I'm gonna wait until this all starts to die back, and then I'm gonna go through and be able to harvest all of my pumpkins and my squashes. I did not see any watermelon and I did not see any cantaloupe. So those did not make it. Those did not do good. And I am 100% sure is because of the weeds. Those just need to be grown in a weed barrier garden or up on trellises so they don't get taken out by the weeds. But the pumpkin and squash are hardy, and those definitely did well. So let me show you a few of them that are here on the outskirts, because I don't feel like going all the way into the jungle today. All right, here I have a beautiful orange pumpkin, and it is doing very nice. Also, I have this one, and this is like a stunningly beautiful. I believe this is a Cinderella pumpkin, but this thing is massive and so beautiful. Can't wait to harvest that and see how it looks on my patio. Here is another orange pumpkin, and over here I've got this huge green one. This thing is big. Okay, my hand compared to that, and it still has a lot more to go. I've found quite a few of these green ones. There's a couple more in there as well as over there. But I don't know if these green ones are gonna stay green or if they're supposed to turn colors. They don't look like they're changing color at all. They're just getting darker in green. So I don't know, we will see. So on this side of the pumpkin and squash patch, I have all of my squashes. So I have the spaghetti squash and I also have butternut squash on this side. I have seen tons and tons of spaghetti squash. I've seen a few of the butternut squash, but I noticed the butternut squash is all the way down at the very end. So I must have done butternut squash over there and then spaghetti squash over here, because that's where I've seen most of the butternut squashes, on that side. But let me show you some of these beautiful spaghetti squashes that I have, and I've got a ton of them. Last thing that is still going good in my garden are my flowers. I have this beautiful sunflower as well as these beautiful zinnias that are still here and doing good. They are still producing lots of flowers and they are great for the butterflies, the bees. So this is definitely my happy place right here, to see all the different butterflies and bees that are all over these beautiful zinnias. All right, friends, so that is what is currently going on right now in my big garden. I decided not to put any of my fall crops down here for the simple fact of all these weeds, and those fall crops are going to be like my carrots and beets and radishes, lettuces, things that don't do well with a lot of weeds with the competition. So those are what I put in my backyard raised bed garden, and those are doing really well. This I'm just gonna let continue to grow as it is doing, and then once it's time, once we have our first frost, I will come through and just clean it out. Probably let the pigs in here and they can root up all this stuff and just enjoy what is left. So I hope you enjoyed this video of our August garden. It is the end of August, so we still have about a month and a half before our first frost. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. As always, I hope all is well, and have a blessed day.